Hey, I'm Allison Mans and this is Brooklyn Cooking, a place where Brooklyn locals come to share their home cooking creations. Today we're going to do Brie stuffed turkey meatballs with a cranberry glaze. For this recipe, you'll need one 12-ounce bag of fresh cranberries, which makes about 3 cups, 1 cup of sugar, at least 3/4 of a cup of panko or other breadcrumbs, the juice and zest of 1 orange, 1/4 teaspoon each of salt and pepper, 1 egg slightly beaten, 1 tablespoon of roughly chopped fresh ginger, 2 teaspoons balsamic vinegar, 1/2 teaspoon each of dried thyme and garlic powder, 1 cup of stuffing, at least 12 1/4-inch chunks of brie, a pound of ground turkey, olive oil for your pan, and 3/4 of a cup of water. All right, so let's get started on our meatballs. So I've got a baking sheet here lined with parchment paper. So we've already got our meat here. We're just going to add our spices. So you're going to add the stuffing and the eggs and the panko. So I originally made this recipe after Thanksgiving because I had a ton of stuffing left over. And I always find that stuffing is one of those holiday sides that are a requirement, but they never get finished as quickly as everything else. So instead of throwing it out, I wanted to just repurpose it. So we're just going to roll it into a ball, and then take one of our chunks of brie, make a little thumb imprint, and wrap the meat around the cheese. And these meatballs change flavor every time I use them because I always like to make a different kind of stuffing. So, you know, sometimes they'll have chorizo in them, sometimes they'll have apple and mushrooms. It's really up to you. So that last meatball is down. Put those meatballs in the fridge just to set, and then we're going to start on our cranberry glaze. Dump in our cranberries, our sugar, our ginger, balsamic vinegar. Just do a rough zest of the fruit. So I'm just going to use a reamer to get the orange juice out. If you don't have a reamer, you can also use a fork. And we're going to add our water. So we're going to turn it on about medium heat. And once the cranberries start to burst, you're going to lower it to about medium to medium low. So you can see it's really starting to boil and bubble. And that's exactly what you want it to start doing. And then we're just going to lower the heat to about medium low and then just let it simmer. And see, most of the cranberries have already burst. It's been about 20 minutes and this cranberry sauce is definitely ready. And the best way to tell is to take a regular metal spoon and just dip it in your sauce. The way that it coats the spoon, that's how you know that it's thick enough. Now it's very important that you strain it while it's hot because the cooler it is, the thicker it's going to get. But this is going to make so much glaze that you can actually keep it in a jar and it'll save for a couple of months. So we're ready to start our meatballs. So I've got my oven preheated to 350 and I've got a big oven safe skillet. So we're going to turn our heat up to about medium to medium high. Then we're going to add just enough oil to coat the bottom of the pan. So our oil is nice and hot. We're just going to put in our meatballs one by one. So we're just going to brown the meatballs on all sides and then we're going to stick it into the oven so that they can fully cook in the middle. It'll take about like 3 to 4 minutes per side. So once these are nice and brown, we're just going to put them back on the sheet just to drain out some of the oil. Then we're going to throw them back in the pan, pour a little bit of the glaze on them, and then throw them in the oven. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes and we are ready to take those meatballs out of the oven. Those look perfect. All that's left to do is throw a little glaze on them and we are ready to eat. All right, let's give these a try. This is so good and so easy to make for a bunch of your friends. So for this recipe, other shows and more, check out brooklyn-cooking.com. See you later.